Let's take a look across the tropics where we do have multiple areas we're watching, including Franklin here, which at this time still a relatively weak tropical storm, and another area, and I'll get to that in a second. Definitely want to keep an eye on this location in the Gulf. Now, this is not a cone of air, by the way, but it does show you kind of where the threat for development in the next 7 days is, according to the National Hurricane Center. But let's look over here towards Franklin, which, by the way, is expected to strengthen. It pulls off towards the north, passing just towards the west of Bermuda as a Category 1 to possibly a Category 2 storm. Now, the big thing as far as impacts here on the east coast of the United States after this has already brought rain across the Dominican Republic over towards Turks and Caicos is going to be the waves as it tracks off towards the north. Definitely seeing some rough surf here, even some dangerous rip currents, especially as we go ahead through Tuesday and heading into Wednesday from the Carolinas all the way down through the first coast here in Florida and really the east coast of Florida for that matter. So if you're going to head out to the beach, maybe cool off, it is going to be some dangerous rip currents there. Now, let's go back to this graphic here. Of course, we're going to focus kind of in on this area, which, by the way, in the next 7 days, we do see something develop in the Gulf of Mexico. There's some very warm sea surface temperatures here, which could really help fuel up this for potential development. Now, at this time, it still is not organized. There's still plenty of uncertainty. But what I can tell you is there's plenty of moisture here. The sea surface temperatures are warm. These are all signs that indicate, yeah, we probably could see at least a tropical depression to a tropical storm. The latest guidance actually is showing at least the potential for a tropical system coming onshore here in Florida. If we don't see that, at least it will be windy and rainy probably by Tuesday heading into Wednesday of this coming week. And just take a look at the rainfall forecast with the GFS, really showing some of that precip hitting the panhandle. Now, this is still long-range guidance. I want you to remember that. I mean, this is just an example of what some of the long-range guidance and why you don't want to take it as the gospel here. For example, this is Franklin here as we go ahead over the weekend. Basically, you see the GFS and Euro. They're right on top of each other. They agree. This is high confidence. Then we look back towards our area coming in out of the Gulf of Mexico. This is lower confidence here. You have a split. The GFS wanted to pull a straight up hurricane there into the panhandle. Euro keeping it weaker back towards the east. Both of these models have been flip-flopping on that over the last few days. And you remember that basically the longer we look out with these weather models, it's like a game of pachinko, if you will. Basically, the further out you go, little variables can change things up. So we want to wait throughout the weekend for this storm system to start to develop, those variables lessen, we can get a more concrete forecast here. As always, prepare, don't panic. Not trying to put any hype out here, but this shouldn't be much of a surprise if we do see a system develop in the Gulf of Mexico. We are nearing the peak of hurricane season here, so of course we want to continue to monitor it for possible impacts by Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta, First Coast News, on your side.